It's time to stop negative self-talk. Jim Rohn said this: the greatest step toward success is self-confidence. And Vince Lombardi said this: confidence is contagious, as is lack of confidence. So let's see what today's speaker has got to say on this subject. She's pretty cool. She's a former BBC presenter, author of, here it is, Make Yourself a Little Bit Famous. So we're all going to get a shot of self-confidence today. And it's going to be a shot that's going to last you a lifetime, because she's cheeky. She is funny. She is absolutely wonderful. She's Penny Haslam. How was that, Penny? How was that for BBC presenting?
That was just like Saturday night live with James Vincent. It wasn't stuffy or newsy, it wasn't Panorama or the 10 o'clock news. It was like, come on down. Here she is. Like, hey, energy, high energy for a Friday afternoon. It's what we need, isn't it?
Where are you tuning in from today, Penny?
I'm from the Northwest, and I'm delighted to say that we seem to have turned up in some sort of action coach uniform. Like, you're in the blue, I'm in the red. Oh, great.
You see, anyone would have thought we planned this, and we haven't, by the way, folks. This is just it. We're ready for a Friday afternoon. Penny's from the Northwest. Where are you from? Get it in the comments box now. Today we are talking about building confidence. That's something that everybody wants, Penny.
It is. Well, you know what? I speak to a lot of audiences about this topic. And one of the first questions I ask is, okay, so put your hand up if you are 100% confident all of the time. And only one person has ever put their hand up for that. And everyone looked at him and went, ooh, yeah, right, mate. So we didn't quite believe him. Yeah. But, even if your confidence is relatively high, robust, you feel good about most things, there might be a thing that you don't really like. It might be sitting with strangers at a wedding, that might dent your confidence, or stuff comes along that dents your confidence and makes you feel unlike yourself. We've got lots of life experiences that can achieve that quite easily. But it's also, listen to this session, this hour of ideas. If you think there's a friend or a family member who could do with a boost, or a teammate or an employee in your team who you think, oh, if only they were a bit more confident, maybe some of the topics that we talk about, James, will be useful to carry on as a conversation with them a bit later, because the world's a funny old place at the moment, isn't it? We're having all sorts of feelings. And
we are having feelings. The person that did keep the hand up there. Hey, by the way, who have we got there? The land of sunny people, Somerset.
Sunny people.
We had Andrew from Surrey before that. We got Mike.
The world.
Mike Moss from the Wirral. Mike Moss, you are in the Wirral at the moment. There you go.
Do not call it Liverpool, James.
I thought it was based over in the northeast side of things toward Hull. There you go. Kate Moody, Glasgow. We've got Glasgow. We've got hi James and Penny, listening from Sandhurst in Berkshire. How's that for an accent? Is that any good, Penny?
No.
No, not very good. Not very good. Kerry James, near Macclesfield. Neighbours. There you go.
Neighbours, yeah.
Neighbours. Where do we start on confidence, Penny? Where are we going to start?
Well, I see it as 3 areas, really. And the most challenging, I think, to talk about, discuss, get your head around is what some people nowadays call mindset. So we could put it under the general umbrella of mindset, or you could call it about inner work, what goes on inside your head. That's a good starting point. And then a really good sort of action point is about skills and moving your skills forward. And then finally about values. But a really good starting point is what is in here. And it would be really easy for me to sit here and go, do you know what? Just have some affirmations and just be the best you can be. And you're great. And it just isn't sticky enough. It just doesn't work. But a really good way of understanding confidence for ourselves is to think about what it gives us and what we don't have when we don't have it. And it's difficult to pin down as a feeling. So if I said, can you describe confidence? It would be the feeling of being sure of yourself. The feeling of being okay. A really good question is when your confidence is low, how does it feel? Or what do you feel?
let's get that out there then. So when your
Let's ask
confidence
it.
is low, how do you feel?
Yeah.
What does it feel like? You feel like this when your confidence is low. Get that in the comment box. It's pretty common. It's pretty common that people experience this stuff because I hear it. I hear it very regularly. If I
Yeah.
had more confidence, I would do this, this, and this. These
Yeah.
kind.
Or I don't feel like making those customer calls. I don't feel like it's the right time to put my prices up, or I'm unsure of the situation with my employee, team member, whatever. I don't know how to navigate it or have a difficult conversation, so I'm not going to. Or you can tell it in someone, can't you? The way their body language, a lack of confidence or lower confidence shows up as sort of, more rounded shoulders, and the breath is shorter perhaps as well. So it's a very physical thing, I think.
Well,
Yeah,
check
no
out.
energy, that sort of thing.
Yeah, we've got action coach Ilminster there, unsure. Yeah, no energy. Who's that as well? That's action coach Ilminster as well. They're hot on the buzzer today. We got Linda. Linda has got Ferrari F60 apparently. There you go. Feels like you become very small.
Yeah, you shrink, and your power in the world shrinks, doesn't it? And yeah, Nell, absolutely. You have likely to have a higher anxiety level. And of course, there's two types of anxiety, isn't there? There's the slow burn anxiety, which people can be troubled with, but the more common type of anxiety is around things, so it can come and go. Now feels like hiding sometimes with lower confidence. Yeah, being small, hiding. Now, none of that is good for business, is it?
None of that's good for business. People buy confidence, Anu says. Low
Yeah.
confidence doesn't sell, it doesn't engage.
No,
Low
people want to have
confidence.
confidence in you, don't they? So if you're displaying lower levels of confidence, it's not going to be good. It's not particularly compelling.
Yeah, look, there's Claire Hart, there she is. When my confidence is low, I really just don't want to do anything. Everything is an effort. We got the Foxmeister here as well. Tired. Well,
Yeah.
you did prepare one earlier for us, didn't you? We've prepared one in the oven just before we came on stage on screen.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. It's a great starting question when I run a workshop or training day with a group of people. So I ran this recently just before Christmas, and I split the group of 20 into two, and I got one flip chart at the one end of the room and another at the other. So this group, who was writing on this flip chart, was unfortunately saddled with the task of describing what confidence feels like, or what it feels like when you don't have much confidence. And look at the list. It's exactly what we've been seeing from people
stress
today.
Tiring, overwhelmed. It's the same list as what we've just said. I mean, what's the opposite of this list then?
Well, it's the question about what can you do? What does it feel like when you have more confidence? And the other end of the room, the other group, the other 10 people writing the list of what it feels like when you've got it, were having a great time. They were laughing and they were joyful, and you could hear the noise. And look, you can speak up, you can think clearly. Oh yes, my glasses aren't on, so I'm going to struggle to read that. Challenge people.
Let's get some comments from the room. When you've got confidence, when you feel confident, you can. Give us your points as well. I mean, look at this. So this is a list that you got from the same workshop. Is this exactly the same workshop? Yeah.
Yeah. People get it. We all get it, don't we? When we feel it, we know what we can do. We can try new things. And I think that's important in business. If you're looking to do new things, you want to be able to fail fast without too much criticism of yourself. Act with intent. Yeah, be decisive. The indecision piece comes up for me when I'm feeling less confident. I'm less incisive. I don't believe that I can do what I want to do. But when I've got it, it's like, yep, I know what I'm doing. And I'm going to do it. So it's a gorgeous thing, isn't it? Confidence. This is why we want more of it.
Just like you, Penny Haslam. Absolutely gorgeous. It's the hair and the red dress.
It's the whole BBC.
Look, just Jackie. Yeah, she's not just. She's wonderful. So you feel on top of the world, and you can do anything, like an adrenaline rush.
Yes.
Kerry James, who is right near you as well. Where are you, Kerry? Get into flow. Oops, sorry. There you go, Wolfie. Get into flow and fast. Who's next, Wolster? Fox. When you're confident, you can do anything. What about that phrase? you can do anything, not everything. Do you agree on that one, Penny?
I absolutely agree. There's nothing to stop you. You're going to find out how you can do things. You're going to power forward. You're going to get there more quickly. You're going to be more open to learning about how you're going as well. So another big point of confidence is that it gives us an ability to hear feedback and hear it in a positive way that goes, oh, right, yeah, okay, well, that's a good learning point. But when you're lacking in confidence or you feel a little bit smaller, confident feedback can feel like a criticism and you don't grow. And you could split this up into growth mindset, fixed mindset sort of territory, if that's what you're used to thinking about. But confidence, and this is why I started talking about it, my background is as a business journalist, and I see confident individuals in teams creating confident teams, and guess what they create? Confident organizations. But if you've got a collection of individuals who are small, shrunken, indecisive, unlikely to speak up, share their ideas, collaborate, innovate, push forward, then you're going to have a team like that, and you're going to have an organization like that. And I think it's so important right now not just to talk about this. The front page is today, at the end of January 2023, our chancellor is saying, try not to be defeatist or negative about the economy, just jolly well be positive. It's like, that's not quite what I mean. I don't mean I think we should all have teams where they power up in the morning and go, rah, we're going to smash this. It's not like high yellow, high red sales teams I'm talking about. It's the quiet confidence, isn't it? It's the self-certainty, the self-assuredness, the self-belief. So I see it very much as a business issue, although confidence is often seen as a personal problem that you need to shuffle away and deal with in your own time. So I say, no, bring it out. Let's talk about it. Let's air it and do something about it as well. Take practical steps to do something about it.
I really like what you shared at the start of that, actually. You said be very aware of someone else's states if you're ever going to give anyone feedback. Because if the state is a little bit lower, they might interpret feedback quite negatively, or if the state is a little bit up, they can take the feedback confidently from a confident perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, that level of awareness is really important then in business, isn't it?
I totally agree. People are very bad at giving feedback anyway. So you've got to bear in mind the recipient. How are they going to take that? What's the best approach to get them motivated and changing their behavior perhaps, or doing something a bit differently? I love that. What has just been shared from Annie there, with confidence, you have won before you've started. Lovely. Really nice.
There's an affirmation in there, isn't it? When I'm confident, I win before I even start. Nell's got another one. I stand a little bit taller when I'm confident.
Yeah, you do. You boss it, don't you? You're like that. I'm so brilliant. I can smash this. And it's so compelling, isn't it? And wonderful.
All right, we've done the warm up. We're engaged. We understand what it feels like without it. We understand what we can do with it. Where are we going next, Penny?
Okay, so let's go back to the 3 steps, if you like. This has come about from me craving more confidence, a bit like adrenaline. I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, but I do like the feeling of being confident because of what it gives me. I think that would be the case for most people. They wouldn't say no to a bit more confidence. And I've really needed it. I've done maybe foolish things in my life, or maybe brave things in my life. I still can't quite work out. But, I moved to London, for example, when I was early 20s, and I didn't really know anyone and didn't have 2 pennies to rub together sort of thing. I managed to get a job at the BBC, yes, as a secretary, but nonetheless, I knew that's where I wanted to be. Then I started doing stand-up comedy in my spare time as a hobby. Okay, that's quite frightening. And then somehow I became a producer and reporter. I got on telly, and now I'm a professional speaker. I ask people to pay me so I can speak, and that's audacious, isn't it? And all through that time, I have needed more confidence, and I haven't. And this is the topper here. I haven't always had it. And that has frustrated me, because sometimes I do have it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be a stand-up comic on the new act circuit to audiences of 10 people in rooms above pubs. Hell yeah, that's going to be fun. And then the next day going, oh, I don't know. No, I won't do that anymore. You think you can conquer the world one minute, and then the next you're like, I'm just going to watch Neighbours this afternoon on telly, and It's all going to go away. So I had a particularly rampant case of negative self-talk, and this is step one that I continue to go back to today. So in my mid-20s, I got my first proper job at the BBC, and it was as a producer on Radio 4. Now, if you listen to Radio 4, James, it's a bit boring and a bit clever. You know, that's the point. It's very clever. And everyone knows what they're doing. And I didn't really feel like I knew what I was doing because I was new and I was out of my comfort zone. And what happened is I had a noticeable case of my own mind almost going in on itself and becoming completely negative to myself. It was just me talking about me to me in a really crap way. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Look at you, stupid idiot. Oh, you're asking a question in an interview and it's not very good, is it? Everyone else is much better than you, and like that. And I had a chat with a mate, Anna, and she could tell I was a bit unsure about this job. And she said, basically, you've got imposter syndrome, Penny, for goodness sake. And you just got negative self-talk. And the minute I heard those things and I understood that it wasn't me, I was relieved, and it meant I could do something about it. And she suggested, my mate Bridget suggested, that I just listen out for the self-talk. So I did, and I began to work on it. And I knew that I couldn't. No, Julian, there is nothing wrong with Radio 4. You're absolutely right, but it is stuff for clever people.
Andrew's wading in as well. Julian, no, there's not. You know,
no, and I never said there was. I said it was full of clever people. Oh, I did say it was a bit boring. Oh, come on, it is a bit. So
there's comments at me, but Julian and Andrew, you know, you go.
Which radio station isn't a bit boring from time to time? But yeah, it was hardcore scrutiny there. So anyway, through listening to negative self-talk, I began to understand that it wasn't enough just to knock it back and go, oh, I do know what I'm doing. It was almost too short a sentence. It wasn't enough. But I think it's worth understanding why I had it in the first place, or why anyone has it. And I'm not going to go into neuroscience, James, because I'm not a neuroscientist. But the brain, if you want to think about it like a chimp, it's the chimp chattering. It is an old operating system from prehistoric days, a bit of the brain in the back that just fires out these negative comments. And I'm constantly aware of it. If I hear it nowadays, and I'll give you an example. I was just boiling a kettle the other day, the kettle in my kitchen, not any old kettle, to make a brew before doing a coaching call with a new client. So it was a new circumstance, and I hadn't really worked with her before. And so I was excited, but I was also a bit alive to how it might go. I wasn't really sure. And my self-talk popped in and went, oh, you're not going to add any value to this one. Like a statement, like a definitive statement. And I caught it on. I went, and for a minute I thought, maybe I'm not. And then I realized it was just self-talk protecting me from doing anything big and bold in the world. So if we want to play the video, this is a video, not just yet, but this is a video of when I delivered a talk to 400 theatre nurses about confidence, and specifically about why we have negative self-talk. So Max, do you want to roll the video?
Here we go. Let's go, Max.
Who here's heard of self-talk? The voice inside your head, the voices inside your head. If you're sitting there going, I have no idea, saying to yourself, I have no idea what self-talk is. Well, that's self-talk, okay? It's the voice that says it's cold outside, put some socks on. Why does it come about? Why have we got negative self-talk? Well, it's that old human instinct, that animalistic instinct that we just we struggle to shake off, frankly. Fight or flight. So the negative stuff is to help protect us from the world, our environment, and everything. And so you imagine, right, caveman or cavewoman with their cavey life partner, okay? Going to sleep at night in the cave, underneath the woolly mammoth rug. I don't know what they're doing. Clean their teeth. Oh, I don't know. So they're lying there. And then all of a sudden there's a noise, a rustle, a sound. What is it? What is it? What could it be? And it's at the cave opening. The cave opening. It's not a door yet, is it? Do you know what? I once had, just a quick aside, I once had a dream, right, that I was a cave woman. It's a brilliant dream. I'll never forget it. Cave woman. There's a bunch of us on a beach. We're kind of squatting down like this. I won't do that. Squatting down, and we're throwing rocks. And do you know what? I think to myself, oh God, we've got to get language soon. Anyway, caveman, cavewoman with their life partner. Hear the noise. Oh my God, there's a noise at the cave opening. Quick, get the rocks. It's bound to be a saber-toothed tiger. And off they go and they deal with the problem, or not. They do not lie there saying to each other, oh darling, well, once they've got language, oh darling, I'm so pleased we moved to this wooded area. The rustle of the leaves are so nice outside the cave opening. No, they don't. They're up and they're ready. Yeah. Same now if you get an email from your boss or your manager. Oh, what do they want me to do now? What have I done wrong? Oh, they're wanting me to do more with less again. So yeah, this negative self-talk kind of rolls around all the time. Now, it can get out of control.
Yeah, I was laughing here there, Penny. You are bringing a smile on my face. That was it was the posh accents of the cave man and woman, you know.
You know,
Tell her, darling, put the kettle on, dear.
yes, it just makes the point, doesn't it, that we have a reaction to things, and you know, you're in the cave most of the time, and in business you possibly sometimes want to get out of the cave and you grow your business or put your prices up or contact better, bigger customers or do something bold in your life, like, you know, romance wise. I mean, I asked somebody out after 20 years of fancying them once I got enough confidence to do that and wasn't going to be so afraid of rejection. So confidence is the power to do anything you like. However, the negative self-talk kicks in, I think, when it's trying to keep you safe. And it isn't to be paid attention to, because this is 21st century life. You can go out into the meadow and you won't be, you know, hit by saber-toothed tigers trying to get you. So it's if you have that knowledge of why we have it, you can be a little bit kinder about it and go, right, okay, well, that's very interesting that when I was making a cup of tea before I had a coaching client, you said, you're not going to add any value. But that's not relevant right now, is it? In fact, and this is the point about, you can't just say a short sentence in reply to it. You have to go more into detail about why that's not factually accurate. And this is the work. This is the discipline of dealing with self-talk, negative self-talk. It is not you. It might feel like you because it's your voice. Sometimes it's other people's voices that you imagine, like you imagine other people are thinking things about you. That is just another form of the negative self-talk. It's because it's so instinctive and so chimp-like and so prehistoric, we almost have to encourage the 21st century brain, the stuff at the front, to pay more attention to the depth of why that's not accurate. So we need to give it a little bit more evidence and challenge it. So identify it, hear it, listen out for it. I mean, if you've never listened out for it before, you might be surprised at what's going on in there. I think of negative self-talk as being like little wisps of cloud in the sky. You can kind of see them, but you look away and the next thing they've gone, and it's difficult to listen out for them. So that again is a discipline. And so then you can challenge it.
Just on that, you know, what you said there, you know, that negative self-talk, you very directly, you said, it is not you. That's what you said. How do you realize that, or how do you even develop that belief so you genuinely believe that negative thing is not you?
It probably doesn't speak like you. It probably says like, oh, you stupid woman. Doesn't it? And not you, Jones, but oh, you stupid man. Or I had a workshop once where someone said that, oh, you're such a numpty, to themselves all day long. What did you say that for? It's very childlike. It's very teenage almost. It uses words that are going to get your attention, like you're not going to add any value. There's a tone to it, I think. which is a bit supercilious or pompous or derogatory and nasty and aggressive. It can be many things. So a really good example of somebody catching on to their self-talk for the first time was a woman who'd been at an organization for 20 years. Every time she went into a meeting, she got to the end of the meeting having said nothing. And then at the end of it, she got very angry and quite explosive with the senior leadership team who she was with, because she'd listened to them all the way through the meeting and they'd gone for the same old mistakes in her view. And she'd explode at the end, and for goodness sake, this is never going to work. Da, 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 da. And she felt that she was getting a reputation for that and it wasn't useful and she didn't know how to get out of it. And guess what? It was like a vicious cycle, a downward cycle of lower confidence all the time. Once she sort of found out about what negative self-talk could be, she had heard me explain it. She said to me, "Oh, I don't have negative self-talk." And then when I saw her again a week later, she went, "I do. I have negative self-talk all the time. I just never realized. In fact, I was about to go into that regular weekly meeting. I had my hand on the handle of the door to the meeting and I heard it. It said, 'Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. They'll never listen to you.'" Right? Nasty stuff. I mean, you wouldn't say that to your mate, would you? Or your worst enemy. You wouldn't be that vile. So listening out for it and hearing its voice and pinning it down to when it happens. It's the tone. That's right, Linda. Linda F60 said it's not just the words, it's the tone. Oh, my voice was like, "Oh, look at you, idiot. You see, you're only from a comprehensive in the north."
You know what? I did say at the start when I was introducing you, I said, some of the things that you could share today, this is not just a shot of self-confidence. This actually could change your life. Now, I actually think that's, if we just embrace that and just play on it for a second, I think being aware that that voice is not you. And I actually think if people grab hold of that and just play around with them emotions, wherever they're feeling right now, this could change their life forever. When you understand that that is not you that's doing it. What do you say to that?
It is a game changer. And the more you do, the more you can do of this stuff. The less likely you are going to fall back on old criticism and habits. And it's seen in leaders that when they have a negative script, they're not able to achieve their goals as quickly or as efficiently or as dynamically as they do if they have a positive script. I mean, yeah, we know about athletes and how, as Anu says, they're the words that matter, the ones you say to yourself. Absolutely. And the challenge then is to wheedle out the words that come into your brain, that run you down, that you're so used to hearing, you think it's part of the furniture. And you think that's how it has to be. You believe that's how it has to be. But by changing your script, challenging it, and affirmations can work, but also strong evidence, a paragraph in a journal about why I would add value to that coaching client. I was challenging myself about, well, I add value because I was able to do this and I was able to do that. And every time I have a new coaching client, they're delighted with the work. And I've got evidence that it works. That is the pernicious nature of the critical voice, is that it does tend to crop up a lot and you have to be able to know what to do with it. That's all. You can't go from being a negative self-talk person to being suddenly some sort of Pollyanna. Oh, look at the sunshine. I'm amazing. It's never going to happen. Pressure comes on. So it's
nice tone there as well. I like the little tone that you gave us.
But if I show you an image now, James, if I go to slide number 4, please, Max. We practice this. So this is ice, right? And we know that ice is powerful because if you're out running and you injure something, you're going to come back and you're going to stick some ice on it, aren't you? And it reduces pain and inflammation. And if you want to remember something about today, remember how to tackle negative self-talk is to identify it. So listen out for it. Who is it? What's the voice? Is it judgy? What's it saying? And then challenge it. No, that's not correct. It's like naughty step time. It's like, no, thank you. I don't need you today. Off you go. And then eventually, you can extinguish your negative self-talk. And it's like at the fairground, that bopper mole, and it keeps popping up all the time, and you have to bash the top of the thing popping up, and it's there again. And if you've got a bad case of it, you're going to be at it a lot. The key thing here is to not give yourself a really hard time for having negative self-talk in the first place. So just watch out for that. It's like, oh, you idiot. You're telling yourself you're an idiot all the time. Oh, no, you idiot. Stop it. But be kind to yourself around this. It is a whole lifetime sometimes of a type of talking to yourself, and it's no good for you. Athletes do great job on, saying the right words to themselves. Why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you in business? It's there for the taking.
Beautiful, simple scenario there. Just
and a gin and tonic, by the way, tastes terrible without this, doesn't it?
Identify, challenge, extinguish. Puts out the pain. How that's how you started there. Ice is a wonderful thing. Yeah, it takes away the pain.
Yeah.
We did have a comment earlier on. We never put it on screen, I don't think. Toby Smith made a comment here. Confidence equals belief. Now, I think there's a question here. Lacking confidence equates to poor inspiration and aspiration, question mark. What do you reckon?
Poor inspiration and aspiration. Well, I'm not sure I totally understand what you mean by that, but I'll have a go, Toby. So forgive me if I don't quite get this right. But confidence does equal belief in yourself. And I think you can have belief in yourself and great aspiration and great inspiration, but still be challenged by confidence that isn't always there. And that example I gave of when I first started at the BBC, I was inspired to work there. I was inspired to push forward on my career and become a senior journalist and then a reporter. And I aspired to those things and I cracked on, but I didn't always believe in myself. It wasn't the easiest of journeys. I could have, if I'd had more confidence, I would have got to where I wanted to much sooner with much more support. It would have felt less like a fight and more like an easy journey, or an easier journey for sure.
What about this one then? So Julian Weeks says visualization. Does visualization increase confidence?
I think so. I use it specifically around when I know I'm going to be nervous. Now, having nerves and lacking confidence are not the same things. Confidence is that rock bed stuff, isn't it? Nerves is just a temporary thing. So I think it can work for when you have a challenge in front of you that you might be able to visualize, or you want to get a positive result from, like a job interview, or maybe you're interviewing for, recruiting people onto your team. And you're not just like, oh, I'm going to see it. It's like, I'm going to feel the whole thing. I mean, McKenna does this brilliantly, doesn't he? You only have to read some of his books to understand the power of visualization and positivity. So, yeah, absolutely, Julian. It's important. All of this inner work, throw some stuff at it, but don't ignore it. That's the
visualization. Let's just acknowledge this as well. Negative self-talk. You can actually see an image of yourself performing bad or going wrong. What if I don't sign that customer up?
Yeah. And we see this classically when people go to do public speaking, don't we, or do a presentation, the script beforehand, you hear it, or you say it to yourself, oh, it's going to be terrible. I'm so nervous. It's going to be awful. It's going to go wrong. I'm going to trip on the way to the stage. I'm going to forget what you're not necessarily going to anything. So maybe
not you saying that.
I have been there before. I have, when I first started speaking, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so nervous.
What's the lowest in confidence that you personally have ever been?
Oh, gosh, I've been some places, James, the lowest, I would say when I was on TV, live television, so high pressure, long shifts, getting up at 3:30 in the morning, repeating that 5 days a week, while being a single parent of a 2-year-old, while having a flat which I couldn't really afford the mortgage on because the relationship had broken down, and having to get lodgers in. And then when the first lodger came round to be interviewed for the post of filling that bedroom and giving me some cash, I cried on her. I think that was fairly a low moment. And I think the lodger went, oh my God, what am I getting into? So
what's your highest? What's the highest confidence that you've ever had?
Highest confident, I'd say right now. I don't mean right now on this call particularly, but I don't want to blow smoke up the old action coach, but I've just, got with an action coach I have employed. I bit the bullet. I decided that 2 years of being indecisive about whether I was going to grow my training business, my training and coaching business or not was too painful. I just needed to crack on or not. And the learning that I'm going through at the moment is phenomenal. And I'm feeling really confident and supported to power up. And I think you just give less of a crap sometimes when you feel more confident. Your confidence breeds more confidence, doesn't it? That's the lovely thing about it. So yes, so that's negative self-talk. The next thing really is about your skill set. And that's what I'm enjoying at the moment, is that I feel like I'm learning so much about accounting, about marketing, about top of funnel, just even that sort of stuff is enough to get me forward and feel more confident. Because when I first set up my business, I'd walk around with the script of going, oh, I hate sales and marketing. I hate it. I can't do it, And it was a skill I didn't have, and I didn't know how to help myself to have it. So shall I share my next slide just to indicate
which slide would you like?
The journey? It's number 5. It's oh yeah. Now
there you go. Is this a 3:30 a.m. start?
Yeah, look at that. 6:17 in the morning.
Yep.
I've got full makeup on, boofed hair, BBC Breakfast sofa, talking to very high profile, famous people, Charlie State and Louise Minchin. And I've got the business pages in my hands, and I've got 1 minute to explain 3 headlines from the business pages that day. I'm cross-eyed in the brain from getting up so early. And the business pages are very hard to describe in a sentence. It's not like England manager sacked. That's football, don't you? Probably men's football. If I said that, I have to explain what the Bank of England is. The Bank of England has a manager. His name is blah, and he, so there's a lot to explain. I had a conversation with someone a couple of days ago. So
Did you do a rehearsal for that? I mean,
no.
Are we literally turn up? Here's the papers. You got 5 minutes. Go.
No rehearsal. It's live, and also you did it the day before and the day before that. So you just crack on and do it every day. But yeah, this conversation I had with someone a couple of days ago was like, I thought all television presenters were just really cocky, really confident, knew exactly what they were doing. I can't speak for everyone else, but for me, sitting there doing that, I felt terrible. And I had a script, and it wasn't negative self-talk about myself. I wasn't criticizing myself, but I was, again, a bit like, oh, I can't do sales and marketing. I would say I can't do these business pages. It was too complicated, too fast. I was too nervous. I can't do them. Oh, same if I went to a field, on a farm and had to talk about productivity or something like that. Oh, I can't do this outside broadcast. It's too complicated. I had a lot going on in my earpiece and a lot to think about, and inflation had come down or gone up or whatever. I can't do it. I can't do this. And the saddest thing about that, James, is that it was what I always wanted to do. It was what I'd wanted to do since being little. But it wasn't something where I grew up you went around talking about, oh, I want to be a live television presenter one day. Because people from where I'm from didn't do that sort of stuff, bizarrely. It didn't feel like it was something I could admit to. And so I kept it quiet a lot of the time. So I didn't talk about it, so people couldn't give me advice, help, support. And even when I got that job, I didn't admit that I couldn't do it because I was worried I'd get found out as not having the right skills or training to do it. So I had this, I can't do it. So fast forward many years, a few years, and I find myself volunteering to be the mum manager of a football team, local girls under 12s football team. My daughter's in it, and I wish I'd had this one word that sort of fell out of my mouth through sheer frustration when one of the girls at training would say to me, she'd run past me, she'd dribble the ball, doing the technical footwork that they'd just been taught. It was new. Oh, miss, I can't do it. And if I could just see a picture of that football team now, you'll have a laugh. James, which one do you think is my daughter, by the way? If you look at their
Well,
little faces,
of all of their little faces, let's have a look. Let me have a look. I'm just soaking this in.
which is the odd woman out there?
Well, the odd woman out is Santa Claus.
Well, yeah, but bear in mind that was the last training before Christmas, not every,
Yeah, yeah.
not
I'm
every
gathering.
week.
So, which is yours? I am going to go with. I'm going to go with the one with the reindeer.
No, it's actually top left, and you'll see why. Not because of what she looks like, but because of the facial, like, sulky. Oh my God, my mum's in a Santa suit.
Fair
So
enough. Yeah,
embarrassed.
yeah, embarrassed.
Do you
My
see it
mum.
now?
My mum
Yeah.
is embarrassing me. Yeah, she's not happy.
No.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our kid there. So I ended up doing this, and one of those girls was a team player, although you wouldn't really know it. She didn't believe in herself. The others were getting on and concentrating. And this is the fabulous thing about confidence, isn't it? You believe that you might. You don't know that you can yet, but you believe that you might. Whereas she was running around, dribbling, kicking a ball about, going, Miss, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I must have had some sort of callback trigger from a time when I was saying this, I can't, to myself. And I went, look, right. Every time you say, I can't do something, I'd like you to add the letters Y-E-T. She took a second to work out what it spelled, obviously, and then went, oh, right, okay. Ran round again. Miss, I can't do it yet. Oh. And that
Amazing. It's amazing.
opened a window, opened a door, let some light in for her to believe that she might, or to travel more further forwards with that idea. So I can't do this technical thing yet. I'm going to try. Yet I'm going to make sure I can by next week. Yet I'm going to watch the others. Yet I'm going to ask for the instruction again. You know, you have a kind of 3 dots after that word. It's not that I can't do it yet. It's not that I can't do it yet. I'm going to try. I'm going to do this thing. So this would have been fabulous for me when doing those newspaper reviews under pressure early in the morning on live national television. I can't do this yet. I'm going to have another look at that when I get back home. I'm going to watch the video and see how it goes and see what improvements I can do. I'm going to ask for feedback and be able to receive it and that sort of thing. So yet is a real strong part of getting on with and feeling more confidence, because when you begin to build your skills, you feel more confident, don't you? So this is the same with new learning about business. Now I know how to do cash flow forecasting, or whatever it's called, something to do with money. I now feel more confident about doing more, learning more.
You think when you learn anything, you get that hit of, endorphins or, dopamine hit? Or do you think you get that feel good factor from learning anything?
I don't know. I do. I get a real buzz. I'm like an annoying undergrad who suddenly discovered something really new and going, it's amazing, right?
There's something, look, I've heard the story before, whether it's from Carol Dweck or I can't remember where it originated, the yet thing, but as you said it, the young girl, I imagine the young girl playing football and I can't do it yet. And you can almost like see the pieces of the jigsaw beginning to build forward, can't you? Actually, after that.
Yeah, it was fascinating. Now, we were at the bottom of the league for the whole first section of the season. We got to Christmas, and I'm not saying that we had some sort of Hollywood trajectory forward onto amazing success and we won the cup. No, but given that we were in a 9-a-side league and there were only 8 of us, or 8 of them, to score a goal the following rest of the season was fantastic. And that was because she felt like she could be more of a part of the team. And the other team members saw that she was a bit more interested and had a bit more belief in herself. And so they sort of came together. So if you've got one person on your team who's like, oh, I can't do it, they're separating themselves off, aren't they? But when they say yet, they've got a keenness and a willingness, haven't they, to be part of the team, and the team will embrace that and know that, just scoop them in and go, yeah, come on, you can.
Well, when one person starts doing it and 2 people start doing it, I suppose you start building momentum in the team there as well, because you begin to become what you hang around.
James, I must say, you mentioned Carol Dweck.
Yes.
And I mean, I'd love to think that I started the yet idea in that football pitch one training night. I didn't. I came across Carol's work. She's done a fantastic TED talk, and she talks about the power of yet and it's specifically applied to younger children in education and how we need to monitor progress and energy and effort spent developing, not the outcome necessarily, in order to help people build their confidence and their skills and abilities and all that good stuff. So it's really well worth watching. It's a good 15 minutes. You won't regret watching.
She's done the book. She wrote the book Mindset, which is obviously research based around the principle of growth mindset.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I know it's got the comment in there. Confidence is superpower. Once you start to believe in yourself, magic starts to happen. Love the yets as it's the magic that's on its way. That's nice, isn't it? Actually, it's a nice way of looking.
Yeah.
Confidence is superpower. So the magic starts happening when you say actually the magic's on the way. I believe that. That's a really nice summary.
Look, I'm really practical and I do like to see stuff laid out, written out. It really helps me move forward. It's not just enough to have the word yet and know it. So if I can share another idea about skills and skill set, and applying it to something you want to achieve. So in action coach terms, you might call that a goal or an action that you want to achieve by the end of this 90 days or quarter. But it could be old dreams that you've had. I had a client once who had wanted to learn how to fix engines, cars, do car maintenance. Her dad had always been into cars and rally driving and mucking about with engines, and the smell of the boiler suit and the noise of the tools being clanged down and the rolling under the engine on a, I don't know, skateboard, I don't know what it's called. She wanted that, and she dusted off that old dream and applied what I'm about to show you actually to it. And she found that through small little steps, she was able to build her skills and her confidence in achieving that ability to get under the bonnet of a car. The next time I saw her, she'd bought a little Mini and was like, bonnet up, having a go, loving it, feeling more confident. And that's the point, building confidence around building skills. So can I share with you the low-tech triangle of goal setting? Right, okay. That's really, I mean, we're not having to go to an app, or we're not having to fire up a website or a spreadsheet for this. This is just literally sketch it out. The nice thing about this is that it's rough. It doesn't feel too precious, like you really have to. You don't have to. And then the next slide, the top of the pyramid. Thank you. So I use these all the time. A really brilliant speaker called David Heiner, who's a goal-setting expert, showed me this pyramid triangle and helped me achieve much with it. And I've got many of these. So I wanted to have a book.
This is yours. This is your
mine, yeah.
Confidence, yeah. So your book being launched 2019, fantastic book, by the way, absolutely fantastic. I've got my own signed copy and proudly owned. Thank you very much. So this is actually yours, yeah? This is what you did, build confidence.
A lot of business owners, a lot of people go, oh, I'd love to write a book. And it's a skill, isn't it? Writing a book that you might not have. And so how can you get there? How can you get towards your goal? How can you build your confidence? And so using this, I just dumped everything that I needed to, and it's not in any order. It's not like snakes and ladders. You don't have to start at the bottom left and work your way up to the top. It's just a load of ideas. Okay, so on the second row up in the middle, there's two words, write it. Write a book, yeah? And then there's a whole load of other stuff that needs to be dealt with in order to achieve that. You know, get an ISBN number, proofread it, design a cover, that sort of thing. Now, I didn't always feel like doing all of those things when I sat down on a Monday morning or Friday afternoon or whatever, but I would do what I felt like. And I like this. I'm quite a creative, free-flowing sort of person, or I like to think I am. I don't really like routine. So to be able to have this at a glance and go, oh, right, okay, marketing plan. Right, I'm going to carve out time tomorrow morning to do that. I'm going to work on it a bit now and then flush it out tomorrow, etc., etc. It's just a nice, easy way of achieving what you want to achieve and building confidence, because every time you put a tick in there, woohoo, I'm getting there. I'm getting towards the top of the pyramid. It's ace. So what do you think of that, James?
There's a few things that I love about it. One thing is, you said you don't have to do it in any order, which is beautiful. The next thing I like is, it's almost like you're building a wall. There's little bricks that you can put in any order you want. And the other thing I like about it is it's a pyramid, it's like a triangle, so it's moving toward the thing at the top.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing, sort of, to the visual thing of looking at it for your own mindset of building confidence. Literally, you can put any of those bricks in at any time you want.
Yeah. And actually, you
And
might have noticed that not everything was ticked off.
yeah, I did. I was tempted to ask a question on that, and I decided I won't.
Well, it's that confidence to think, sod it. I don't want to do that. It's not necessary. I don't need a PR campaign. I'm just going to go my own way. And so you don't have to fill in everything, because the more you get into your journey of stuff, you realize you perhaps don't need to do that. So yeah, it's just a starting point.
Rosie Elliott. Penny.
Hi, Rosie.
Through you and Michael Heppel, I have written my book. Congratulations, Rosie. Tell us what your book is, by the way. Put it in the comment box and put a link to it. Do some promotion there, Rosie. And tell us where you're from as well. We'd like to hear that. All right, what's next?
Well, so that was the second part of the work that confidence and building confidence is all about. So we've had mindset stuff, the inner work, negative self-talk. I've mentioned about skill set and how it's really useful for my own confidence. Remember, this is just my suggestions of how I've built confidence and how I continue to do it. And I say do it because, you know, we always think, oh, confidence is something you have or you don't have. Other people might have it, but you don't feel it. You're born with it or you're not born with it. But actually, it's not something you have or don't have. It's something you do. It's something that you do. It's daily practice. It's constant vigilance. It's rinse and repeat. So this is not stuff I've just thought of and I don't attempt. I do this all the time. So final piece of my little steps towards feeling awesome and being able to do anything in the world that I want is about values. I got asked about my own values when I was at a networking event once. This woman came up to me and she goes, so what are your values, Penny? As you do at a networking. It's kind of, oh, right, a conversation starter. And I thought she meant corporate values, like company values. So I haven't really thought of any. Maybe I should get them printed on a mouse mat. Maybe it's I don't know, stuff like that. So let me show you a slide number 9.
Yeah.
Which is what I thought it would look like, what your values would be. Mission, value. Okay, this is from University Hospitals of South Manchester. Brilliant place. I went there regularly for a little while with a leg operation thing. And I noticed this wonderful, attractive laminate. And the next slide really focuses in on values.
Yeah, let's get the values piece on the screen. I mean, the people thing, yeah?
Yeah, on the right-hand side. So the next slide, number 10, shows that in detail. And I love this.
Oh, let's go back. There we go.
There we go. I love the fact that they've wedged in 5 ideas into a 6-letter word there. With the last one, leadership, or open, because I couldn't think of anything to do with it. So I absolutely love it. But it's not for you. It's not for me. It's not for individuals. It's for an organization. And it's difficult to hook into these because they're not from here. So, okay. What is the point of thinking about your own values? It is really important. The time when I realized I had some was when I got, okay, this is a bit of a crazy story, but it's all in the book. But essentially, Weight Watchers approached me when I was on telly and went, we're not saying a fat pen, but do you want to lose some weight for some money and become a celebrity brand ambassador? I'm like, hell yeah, of course I do.
Yes, it takes confidence to say yes to speaking.
No, it was the show. Well, it was actually. I am a brave person, as you'll see in a minute. So anyway, I bit that hand off. Like, yes, definitely. It changed my life. It changed my body. It gave me some cash to think about setting up a business. It got me out of BBC work, which wasn't exciting me, despite it being extremely glamorous. And during that process, I had to have a script meeting about the TV advert that I was going to be appearing in. Yep. And the script meeting was with Saatchi and Saatchi, the advertisers. Heard of them? Yeah. Weight Watchers, massive. And me, little me. And I didn't have the confidence within me to talk about this script in any sort of commanding way. And I thought, I looked at this script. It was dreadful. And the script was all about me in a kitchen making a cake. You imagine that? I'm rubbish at cakes, you know, and you shouldn't eat them if you're losing weight. You know what I mean? It's just, and it was all about fundamentally getting women into the kitchen. And I hate that. Women, I work, you know, I was a single parent.
When was this? How long ago were we talking?
10 years ago, just 10 years ago.
Oh my God.
And so what took over at that point was my values. My values. I was bold and I was brave. And I spoke up about it, and we changed the advert and it changed. Anyway, that's a side story. But the power of understanding your own values, if we can run these slides quite quickly, that would be really good, because I know we're on a bit of a time shortage. So if we could take a look at that one. Yeah. So the reason for thinking about your own values, like, are you kind? Are you friendly? Are you spiritual? Do you like learning? You know, what is important to you? Is that it's easier to make big life decisions. You're less likely to engage. Go ahead, Max, keep going. You're less likely to be destructive in your thought patterns. The next one would tell us that you have greater self-discipline and focus when you know what you believe in. Your social connections are stronger. And get this last one, you can tolerate physical pain more easily. I don't know.
Ice.
With your ice. Full circle there, James Vincent, full circle. And if we go to slide number 16, that's just a flavour of some of the values that you might like to put on a post-it. Next slide. On a post-it on your desk. What do you believe in? Those are mine. I've got them on a post-it. Fun, really important when working with clients. They've got to be fun or I'm not into it. Honest, strong, friendly. That's really important to me. And these are the deeps. This is the deep stuff that supersedes whether or not you're feeling confident. Are you willing to speak up, stand up for things, move forward?
I had a look at these before the session, actually, and I was wondering, are these values associated with confidence? And, you know, you said you chose them. Just put the one before. Is this just a random list of values, or is this
this is the list I googled, and there's a lot on values out there. So if you're interested in finding out more about values, and not just company values, but what you believe in as a human being, then this is just a list I pulled together, which I'm very pleased to say is in alphabetical order, and I'm very proud of that. A bit OCD. But yeah, pick one of those, and you know, does it work for you? Does it resonate with you? Some of them you'll just go, what? No, that's not me. Highlight 4 or 5 and you've got your values. It's as simple as that. What do you want to live by?
I actually thought these values were associated with confidence. I mean, look at the list of courage there, bold, brave. What else? Kindness, respect, power, honesty. You know, I was thinking these are all associated with confidence.
Well, I don't know whether they are associated with confidence, I dare say, but if you're able to understand what you believe in, what you stand for, then you've got more of a rock solid, you know, rock bed foundation that can help you go anywhere.
Let's leave that on screen for a second. Yeah. What are your favorites on the list there? What would you choose? You know, this is about you getting more confidence. Let's find out. Put it in the chat.
What would you write on your post-it?
What would you write on your post-it? Penny has showed hers there. And I mean, put the post-it note back up of Penny's, by the way. What made you choose yours? What made you choose these? Because yours are not in alphabetical order.
I reflected on the kind of behaviors that I like to display and what I'm drawn to, what I believe is right. So someone else might think that strength isn't necessary. And they might say that in a negative way, in which case they wouldn't choose that. But I see that in a positive way, which helps me be strong as a stepmom. It helps me show strength when, you know, there's challenge in my life. You know, my dad's got dementia at the moment. I've been through the blooming menopause, the peri-blooming menopause, and having strength and remembering that, you know, your strength can reside inside you. Well, my values are to do with strength and being bold and kind to myself, kind to others, kind to animals. They're just your benchmarks, aren't they, of what is right and wrong for you?
Certainly are, yeah. Be brilliant every day. Has put one that's not on the list, by the way, which is candor.
Yeah, well, honesty, candor, however you want to say that. This list is shortened, by the way. You can Google many much
Oh,
more.
look, Mike, openness, Claire Harford. Mike Greenwood's gone bold. He's bold. Bold, brave, courage, intelligence, security.
Mm.
Wisdom.
Security is good, a good one. I mean, saying it's good, it's, I totally get that. Yeah. Financial security, physical security, wisdom. Yeah. Learning.
By the way, folks, I know that you're putting your points in there. It is time to share the biggest learnings and actions that you're actually going to take from this session, put into your life, starting tomorrow. You can obviously enjoy your Friday evening. Start tomorrow with this stuff, and let's see what the biggest learnings are going to be. And in the meantime, Wolfster, please do share who we've got to look forward to next week. We've got a few other things to show you at this stage. So who we've got to look forward to next week? So what we got next week is Chris Donnelly. He's named as one of Forbes 30 under 30 in marketing. So next week's session is all about investment, managing and growing and scaling a business of a massive size. So the session will be covering everything from managing people to growing employee numbers and scaling up big. So there you go. Next week, Chris Donnelly. And we've also got,
you've had confidence this week, and then you're going to really smash it next week with that growth idea. And I bet that Chris Donnelly didn't walk around going, oh, I can't do marketing. No, he's smashing it, isn't he?
Well, yeah, he is absolutely smashing it. Forbes top 30. There you go. So on screen, we do have a QR code now. Penny, what's the QR code for?
Sorry.
Yeah.
That is for a recap on everything today. Now, you might think, oh, some of those ideas have been really useful for me, but actually I want to be able to share them with other people that I know who are close to or work with. And so it's a little recap sheet on all of the ideas and more that I've brought to you today. So hopefully it'll be useful.
Well, Penny, you'll never guess what is round the corner. You will never guess what. BizX 2023 is round the corner, 20th and 21st of April. We've got some speakers. So we've got Stephen Bartlett. I'll just name a couple. We've got Stephen Bartlett. Marcus Sheridan is coming over to. We've got Lord Sebastian Coe. We've got Mary Portas. We've got the world's greatest living explorer, Ranulph Fiennes, speaking. You've been a speaker at BizX. What would you say to anyone considering going to BizX?
My word. I mean, it's pumped up, right? Isn't it? It's just like full energy. And I know people who've gone, I have come away buzzing with ideas, energy. It's a refresh, a reset on your business and yourself as well, actually, to master what you need to in order to go forward on your journey. I know it sounds like a collection of cliche words there, but it really is a super opportunity to do all of those things. So I'm going to be attending, I believe. Yes, it is 20th and 21st of April. I'll be there.
Well, so you get to meet the great Penny Haslam while she's there as well.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the video. Continue to share your learnings in the box. We will play a 30-second video now. Enjoy. Over to you, Wolfster. There you go. See there. Also, we can have the QR code removed. There we go. Let's have a look what we've got. Look at this one. Penny Haslam. Anu is coming in. First key takeaway. All you really need is confidence and values. Then success is created magically. She did have that magic comment earlier on, didn't she? The yet. There is magic in the end.
And Annie, remember that it might be all you need, but actually it's everything you need. And it's the work, isn't it? It's not just like, all you need is confidence. You can't just glibly say that to somebody. There's the work to get there, isn't there? So thank you, Annie. That's great.
And look, ICE, I do believe the number of people are going to have ICE as a big takeaway. Identify, challenge, and extinguish. Yes?
Yes.
ICE can put out pain. Lovely analogy that as well. Smashing session, Penny, from Rachel Woods. Julian Weeks also said exactly the same. Linda F60, thank you very much, Mike. BizX is phenomenal. Thank you, Penny. Hashtag, are you ready for this? Believe. Foxy has said ice. Identify, challenge, extinguish.
Rinse and repeat.
Rinse and repeat. And last but not least, we'll go with Izzy. Keep the comments coming in. We'll use this for a great end to the week. Well, on behalf of everybody here and Izzy and Claire Harford, thank you. Amazing session. We love investing time with you. Penny, you have a great evening as well.
Thanks,
See you all
James.
next week. Take the confidence to the next level. Bye for now.
Bye.